Welcome back, Doug Padgett Radio. 10:50, 10 minutes before the hour here in the Twin Cities. Doug Padgett Radio being broadcast on AM 950 and on the internet around the world, and perhaps even in the space station. Good to see all of you on the DougPadgettRadio.com chat room. Nice to see you. Hope the audio is working all right for you over there. Michelle, it's time to get up. This is not only religious radio that's not quite right. This is the morning wake-up call from my dear friend Michelle, who, by the way, asks me to remind her to get up. It's not that I think she's not going to get up. You know, I'm like the alarm clock. No judgment here. No judgment here. I'm just doing my part. Just doing as I'm asked. Hey, we try to have a little segment here that I have a little fun with called Cripes, Come On, and You Gotta Be Kidding Me. Things that happened during the course of the week that I think should be different. And I try to bring them up. And then we end every show, at the end of the second hour, with the right-on segment. So we've got the You Gotta Be Kidding Me, Come On, and Cripes here in Doug Padgett Radio, religious radio. It's not quite right. And then we end every show with a right-on. People doing the right thing. People doing just what they should do. So we end the first hour with a little reminder that while the future is here and the world is very, very good, it's not always evenly distributed. Like my Christmas lights, Grover, I got to tell you, I'm trying not, I went all out this year. I decorated the outside of the house. I did a Christmas tree, did the whole thing. So we go downstairs, we pull out of our red bins all of our Christmas lights. 80% of them, the strings don't work anymore. What happens to these things in the 11 and a half months that they lay in my basement inside of that bin? I don't understand it. I wouldn't think I would have to go buy, and look, I mean, you can buy 100 Christmas lights for $1.87. I probably spent $25 a year. Do you think that's it? I bought the good. Why do you always blame the victim on this stuff, Grover? Why do you blame the victim on this? The conspiracy theory. Well, I feel like I have to. I have to go and I have to spend new money on these Christmas lights every year. And I climb up on my ladder. I put lights up because it's awful dark out. And I think that having some holiday cheer, some bright lights, cheers people's spirits when it starts getting dark at 4:30 and they feel like something special is going on. Yes, it's getting darker, but just because it's getting darker doesn't mean the light's not coming. That's exactly what my wife tells me is why we hang up Christmas lights. That's why she tells me. Well, we should, and I think that we do by hanging out in our backyard and eating large amounts of cooked pork and beef. But in the wintertime, it's good just when it's getting as dark for as long as it's going to be to remind ourselves that it's not always going to be dark like this. So that's why we do it, right? See, that's the upside to the Christmas lights. That's why you do them, and you do them right up because the 21st is going to be the darkest day of the year in this part, in this hemisphere. It's going to, the people in Australia, they're just totally thrown off by the whole. It's the lightest day of the year, Christmas. So you can tell that it wasn't the Australians who decided to link Christmas with the winter solstice because it's the brightest day of the year there. But in this hemisphere, it's as dark as it can be. So we put up these Christmas lights and we tell the good story that yes, it's dark now, yes, it's gloomy now, sure it's getting dark at 2:30 and being dark by 4:30 in the afternoon. Yes, that's true, but it won't always be so dark. So I go down in my basement and I get out my Christmas lights and I bring them out to the front yard and I plug them in and they don't work. And then I'm pulling bulbs out and trying to put bulbs in, and I even buy the ones that say they'll work if then half the string goes out, and it's just unbelievable. So I'm plugging these things in. I'm out there with my my little at-home workers, my boys, and I say to them, "Cripes, you gotta be kidding me! Come on, Christmas lights." You want to cheer. See, even a Scroogey guy like me wants to chip in. I want to be a gamer. I want to tell the story of light on the darkest day of the year, and and all of a sudden here I am. I'm on a ladder, shaking around, trying not to break my back. By the way, one year I was putting Christmas lights up, and we have a sloped driveway right at the point where the gutter runs toward the end of the house. So that's obviously not sloped, but just the driveway is sloped. So I'm up there putting Christmas lights up by myself, and I've got the right side of the ladder propped up on a little brick. and I'm hanging these Christmas lights about 4 years ago, and the ladder slips, moves off, falls off the brick, because I probably didn't do a very good job putting it on the brick. So it slips off the brick, and I feel the ladder starting to slide to the right, and I've got about 4 feet of ladder above the gutter, so I can feel the ladder sliding to the right, and I'm like, I'm falling off the ladder now, right? So I'm gutter height on a kind of a 2-story house. So I'm up there, and I kind of grab a hold of the ladder, and I rode it down and fell into the large bush just to the corner of the house, like on my back. I think it kept me from breaking my back, probably. But I slide off, and I fall into this bush, and I'm laying in this bush, and I, grabble myself up out of the bush. And that's exactly what I thought. So now I'm cracking up, right? Now I'm just laughing at myself. I get up, I look around, like Harry Strug, from the '96 Olympics. I look around, and there's nobody watching. And I'm like, what a total waste of a ladder fall. Like, what's the point in falling off of a ladder if people aren't going to be there to laugh at you? So that didn't happen this year, but it was just the Christmas lights. I don't know about the rest of you, but if you had those bulbs that when you plug your Christmas lights back in, then you're driving over there to the local hardware store where I go to buy the Made in America Christmas lights. It cost me $24 a pack. Come on. Come on. Hey, the news story on the come on, though, is not the one about Christmas lights at all. It's this headline that when I saw it, I mean, it really stopped me in my socks. I don't know what that expression means, but it did. I was stopped right there in my socks. Here's the headline. It comes out of the USA Today. Mass slaughter planned for invading camels in Australia. Mass slaughter planned for invading camels in Australia. Okay, first of all, this is what happens when it's the brightest day of the year. They're like, hey, it's going to be as light as it can in about a week. Let's go after the camels. I have the sense that camels are an exotic animal. So I don't know the sort of, the wilderness area of Australia. I don't know what camels do. I'd imagine they could be quite destructive with their large hoofs and their very big mouths. But the thought that there's going to be a mass slaughter of 6,000 wild camels in Australia, that terrifies. See, that's not funny, Grover. You hunting guru, you. I don't know. I just don't think it's actually. So the come on of the week goes to a mass slaughter of camels in Australia? What is this world coming to? I mean, come on. Where are the camel advocates? I'm about to become one. This show, Doug Badger Radio, is about to become a Let's Save the Camels. They run up to 7 feet tall and 2,000 pounds, and there's like 6,000 of them. Now the problem, well actually the perfect thing, I mean if you wanted to sort of follow the talk radio vibe, I would become a supporter of these camels, an advocate for these camels, and not actually know anything about what the problem is with the camels. All right, the You Gotta Be Kidding Me goes to that couple that snuck into the White House for that big inaugural party with the Indian Prime Minister. Those guys. Crash it. They got by Secret Service. Like, she's being filmed for a Bravo show that she's wanting to be on, Housewives of D.C. They somehow sneak into this dinner, but you know what the real You Gotta Be Kidding Me goes to? It's not that they snuck past Secret Service. When you look at the picture in the paper, you look at it online, the real serious You Gotta Be Kidding Me is, what is she doing with that guy? You've got to be kidding me. I mean, this is like this kind of look that I get when I walk around with Shelly. People look at her and they go, what is she doing with that guy? That's what I think of these two. Welcome to the club, fella. Doug Badger Radio, religious radio that's not quite right, AM 950, DougBadgerRadio.com.